Hey, Portia. Portia, are you here?
I'm here. Oh, you couldn't see me. Can you see me? Okay, I'm getting my audio together because I can't hear you.
This is my wrap-up show, the McGraw Report. Hey, there's Miss Portia right there.
Hey!
How you doing?
I'm great.
Well, I wanted to put on my mask so we can remind everybody that's watching the show to wear your mask, okay?
That's true.
Wear
That's
your
good stuff.
mask. Oh my goodness. Where do we begin talking about 2020, really?
Oh,
First of all,
where do we begin?
I just want to tell you, I love you. I thank
Love
God
you
for
more.
you. And when I do my shows on McGraw Report, every time you're my guest, it's always a special show for me.
It's always good time.
You really do. So, what have we learned from 2020, Miss Portia? What have we learned? Okay, first, coronavirus has taught us a lot.
So many things. So many things.
One thing.
I would start by.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would start by saying it's taught the value of life and what's really important.
Yes.
Not just all those superficial things that we may get caught up in, the things of the world, but really like what's important. The fact that we can breathe. How many times do we take for granted that we can breathe?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Or the ability to just to see somebody smile.
Right. Right. It's just seeing your face. And
you know
we got to do it this way because, we're still in pandemic mode and we have to do our due diligence to make sure that we stay safe. But it's going to be so much better when I can get a chance to have you sitting next to me or hugging me or something like that on camera while we're
normal things
in the store. Yeah, like we do in the studio when we're doing the show for real. It's all so strange what's happening right now to me,
So strange.
I was looking at the statistics and, in 2020, we did see a very hard hit Black community when it comes to coronavirus. Blacks were 5 times more likely to catch the coronavirus. Latinx was 7 times more likely to catch it. So we know for a fact that it hit Black and brown communities the hardest. It really did. And we also know now, based on all the things that's happened, that we need to establish a serious vaccine logistics team. We need to get started on that right now because
seriously.
They don't have a clue as to how many people are going to take this drug if they come out with it. They don't have how to administer it. Are they going to charge people? We need coordination on testing and results of testing. Right now, they're talking about they've got a new test where you can spit in a vial and you can get the results in a day, which I'm hopeful for that, because anytime you're doing testing and it take you a week to get the results back, well, what you doing really? I mean, that means nothing. I mean, what is that? If it take you a week to get the results, Portia, really, you could have had the coronavirus 2-3 times by the time you found out that first time. So it's, then you're going to have to be around certain people, I mean, you are one of those what we call essential workers. You know, people need to get their hair done. They were so devastated
Yes.
that they couldn't
Oh
go
my
back to
gosh.
the shop. Now they're slowly opening back up. How's that going?
It's going well. So far, I mean, it's obviously awkward. We have to wear masks all day. I personally threw a fit at home. Like, I gotta wear masks all day. But now being back, I'm happy to be able to provide that service for people because so many people don't just come to the salon for their hair. They need that therapy, that moment away, that personal time. It's a serious thing.
Yeah.
And people coming back from this off of being on quarantine, we've dealt with so many different, not just mental issues. You have to deal with people a little bit differently now, and a lot more time. You have to allot more time for them to be able to talk and vent. And, you know, people have experienced deaths and loss of jobs and different, just so many things.
Yeah.
And then some stuff that they're not even telling us. They just know that they need that moment of, oh, it's like a break.
Yeah, people are making a serious adjustment, and I believe they're going to have to continue for 2021 for a little while. It's going to go into the new year with us still having to be vigilant about the mask and social distancing and washing your hands all the time, sanitizing. We got to keep doing that. And some things, some industries may have changed forever where, you know, it will never be the same again in terms of how you do things. I know with the sports industry, for example, they're trying to have sports with no fans, and that's just
crazy.
awkward, you know. You
That's
know,
crazy.
People can't sit in the stands, but they have these cardboard cutouts or whatever, you know, and they're in a bubble.
That's weird.
What do you think about that? I mean, I know that they make a lot of money, but is it worth your life? Is it worth taking your stuff to your kids or to your loved ones once it's over? I don't see the risk
I don't think it's worth it. Certain things I don't think is worth the risk factor in this situation. And I think, like, if you're going to go and put yourself at risk, number one, your immune system needs to be top notch, because what they're not enforcing is the different things that fight these viruses and stuff. If it makes its way to you, are you going to be able to survive? And because it needs to stop. If it comes to you, whether your barrier, you slipped up, you ate something, didn't wash your hands, or whatever, you need to have yourself on point so that you don't, so it can be killed within. You know, it can stop there because the immune system is strong. The body can fight, and you know, athletes, and a lot of people
they have good immune systems for the most part. Athletes, they take care of themselves, so they do have an advantage there, but that doesn't mean they won't get it. It's been a lot of celebrities, a lot of
carriers
that's already got it. And so they've already said that they have it, and they've chosen to opt out of the season altogether. So
I think
that's a warning sign to me. And anybody that's taking a chance on playing, you know, basketball, football, maybe even baseball right now, you know, they're having baseball seasons. It's a risk factor that I don't think I would take. You know, I wouldn't do it.
You know, I think, because I know they have to have some type of money put up. These people are well off. But I don't know. Who knows if they're losing it mentally.
Yeah.
Just from not playing.
That's another thing that I'm looking at. The mental stress that's going on with people nowadays is through the roof. They said that the CDC is reporting 1 out of 3 persons have stress-related anxiety due to the pandemic, as opposed to 1 out of every 12 people last year around this time. So it's really starting to affect people's mental capacity and how they handle their day-to-day life, you know?
And even in the hair industry, I have had to consult, I'll say about 75% of my guests, because they've experienced hair loss, because that's one of the first signs of stress. And they're thinking it's something that they did wrong or whatever. And yes, you haven't been having to do your own hair at home. So maybe you did something wrong there. But I have to remind everyone, we are in a global pandemic. Give yourself that room that you may have been stressed. And if your hair fell out, let's all be lucky we still got hair on our head.
That's right. Well, let me just let me just tag the show. This is a special wrap-up 2020 edition of the McGraw Report. I'm Harry McGraw, your host. We got Miss Portia back on the show once again doing a wrap-up edition. So great to have her via Zoom. And we're just talking about some of the lessons we've learned in 2020 and how we're making that adjustment to go into 2021. Now, another thing that I see is clearly a problem is the healthcare system. We need a universal healthcare system like nobody's business. Right now, the United States is ranked 175 out of 190, civilized nations. So that's not good. We're supposed to be the top country on earth, and for us to have a healthcare system this jacked up, it's embarrassing, really, to the world.
So embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
I've seen countries smaller than ours do a much better job of maintaining some sort of regulation over this virus. They had some sort of plan. Here they're still trying to figure out how to control the PPE and stuff, how to make sure people get tested. I mean, they so behind on all this stuff. And
too arrogant.
They say that, there's people out here with pre-existing conditions, and then they say people are asymptomatic, and they got people just walking around that haven't been tested, and there seems to be no leadership from a national standpoint on saying, hey, let's just stop everything, get people tested, find out how bad it is, and take it from there. It's just like each person is making their own mind up. Have you been tested since this pandemic started?
I haven't been tested at all. Not at all.
Me either. I've not been tested. And I'm waiting for the saliva test to come close by so I could try that. I like that better. I didn't like
that's better than shoving it up.
Yeah, the nasal passage test and all of that stuff sticking down your throat. I didn't like wiping the side of my mouth or none of that stuff, with foreign objects, And then, you got people sitting in their car, fumes coming from cars, all in your mouth, and then you got this mask on, you can't hardly breathe. It was very, very unsafe, It
was so unsafe. And it's like, if it's not worth the risk, I'm not getting out there to do that either.
Yeah, I said what I'll do is I'll wait and see how this vaccine rolls out. And if it's working pretty good on everybody else, maybe I'll try it. But I'm not
y'all get it going.
That. Y'all try it out first. And then let me know.
Y'all roll that out first.
And I also, one of the things that I've been looking at too is we need to have scientists and researchers preparing for future viruses. Like now, we need to start working on
all the focus is on this.
Yeah, we need to start stashing a lot of PPE. They need to have ventilators piled up in a warehouse somewhere in Washington to distribute amongst the country if another one comes out. We need to have more of a plan for these kind of things, because this is not going to be the last pandemic that we see. But, not having no kind of plan, that's just a recipe for disaster. We're looking at 100.
Absolutely.
170,000 deaths in the United States so far. We are leading the world in the number of deaths. And we're supposed to be number one? Really?
Please. How?
Now, let me ask you
this.
Numbers are showing. Let me ask you this. In addition to that, Portia, I found that the education system is shook a little bit. These kids going back to school online, it's not working out as great as they thought it would,
No. And now they're sending, like, the college students have gone back to school, actually. I don't even know what is that plan all about. So some of the what are we even doing?
Right.
And I have some clients that are school principals and things like that, and they have told me that they discussed doing these pods for the students where you come in a certain group. I don't know what's going on with that, but I just don't know how we are planning to even kids, the nastiest of them all.
It's amazing.
And I said, why don't they just take time to make an effective or more effective system for the home? That's what we should have been doing.
Exactly.
We're working backwards. We're pretending as though we have fixed the problem. We didn't fix anything. Like, oh, yay, our kids can go to school because it's fall. But did y'all fix Corona yet? Nobody. COVID's still out there.
That's right. And there's a serious shortage of laptops and iPads.
Absolutely.
And,
Printers.
Printers. There's certain parts of the country that don't even have Wi-Fi connection.
Yes.
So
yes.
how valuable are our children's education really? They need to really be honest about this and say they haven't made enough investment in our kids' future.
No, they haven't. They haven't.
They've been spending money on bombs and spending money on big developments, but what about the kids? They need stuff. They need teachers. They need, there's going to be a need for nurses in 2021, I think, at these schools.
There's going to be a big need. Nurses, doctors, medical industry.
Yeah, they're going to need to increase their capacity for people being checked out once they do open the schools back up. They got to hire more nurses. They got to have a whole new protocol when it comes to the lunchroom, the cafeteria. It's got to be a whole different setup now, because some stuff is just too risky to do.
Yep.
And in addition to that, we got these food deserts in these communities where some of these people depend on those meals. These families, they don't have the money to really feed kids all day like that. So what are we doing about that? It's a compounded problem that I see it's getting worse in 2021 unless they really take it seriously,
They've got to start taking it seriously, actually, because the problem is the arrogance. It's just, I keep saying that the arrogance of, because we're the best country, it doesn't just go away. You can't just say you're the best. You have to be the best, and that requires effort, time, money, investments, things like that, research.
That's right. This coronavirus has exposed us.
It really has.
In a lot of ways, it's exposed us,
Yeah, it really has.
People was buying into the hype thinking we number one, we the best country on earth, but we got a lot of problems.
And now here we are. Our slip is showing.
Yeah, I see it. I see it clearly now. And 2021 is an opportunity for a lot of things to change. I think they have to reimagine how society is going to be now, with everything that we do. When the lootings and the rioting started downtown Chicago, I think it caught the city off guard. And so, this is a potential to happen all over the country. And you can't stop people from communicating. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on TikTok, they're on Snapchat or whatever. They're out here talking amongst themselves. And the government is not really looking at how people are mobilizing like they are,
No, they're not. They're not paying attention to the reality of what's going on.
Yeah. And I really feel like 2021, folks going to have to reevaluate what we're doing in this country, Portia. Definitely. Now,
period. Yep.
I know that you got married in 2020.
2019, actually.
2019, technically, you got married.
Right.
And 2020 has been very challenging because all of the passport situations got changed around because of Corona. You can't even move around and go see your husband. He can't come see you. I mean, how are you processing that?
I'm not. You know what? Because of how I am, I try to look at the positive about everything, but it is a very challenging situation. And it's a reality. It's like a reality check for me, too. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. If there's, it has posed the question of what does the distance bring out of you? What is the distance going to do? You have to bring the best out of yourself and try things differently, because that is a very big challenge. But you got to rise to the occasion, because we're being challenged in so many other areas. I said, well, this can be no different. I'm not exempt from all the challenges that other people are going through.
Yeah. And, your husband's in a whole nother continent at this point.
Not even just country.
Not another country, a whole nother continent. He's on the other side of the planet right now. Okay. So how are you using social media to keep your marriage going until this whole thing blows over? How are you handling it?
Well, we obviously utilize FaceTime and WhatsApp and all the different video apps, and we do different things to keep each other, positive. We first of all, our conversation has been intensified because I was on quarantine for a few months, so we got an opportunity to talk at times of the day where, well, we both were on quarantine, so we had an opportunity to talk at different
really
times of the day. Yes, more intensely. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so we got a chance to do that. And then I utilize social media just now more, posting different pictures of us, different memories, you know, and different fun times. So we just kind of go down memory lane and use the opportunity to get to know each other even more. Because when you have nothing but conversation, it's going to make you to dig into some things a little deeper than what you're used to.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic to that. I know you wasn't anticipating it to go this way. Nobody was, you know, but
right?
we are, you know, we have to stay safe. So, you know, maybe it worked out for the best. You know,
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
he's trying to, you know, make sure everything's cool over there. You're making sure things are cool over here, and you still able to communicate. Well, you know, I would have never thought that your first marriage would end up starting off this way. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I never would thought you the only marriage. Okay, we ain't having no more.
You know, ain't no more marriages coming out of this one. I tell you right now, you going through the fire right away. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's go.
But you know, I use that saying. They say, you know, gold goes through the fire and get refined. So we gonna come out of this thing glistening.
Glistening. That's right. Y'all gonna polish each other up, and y'all both gonna be shining.
That's right.
At the end of the day.
That's right.
We got Miss Portia on the McGraw Report. This is our wrap-up 2020 edition. And, you know, I just wanted to, you know, make sure we got those points out, Portia. We're so happy to have you. I want to ask you one more thing.
Okay.
One more quick question. Now, in 2021, seeing that a lot of these stores and restaurants have closed up and a lot of these retail stores are closing up because of all the things that's happening, you know, do you think that a universal income for everybody in the United States should be considered at this point, where everybody gets a minimum amount of money? I saw that they tried to do the over $600 a month extra for unemployed people because they lost their job. But this income inequality has to be addressed. It's too wide. You know, Mark Zuckerberg made $14 billion in one day, and meanwhile we have people on unemployment scraping by with $600 extra. What do you think in terms of the economy is going to happen in 2021? Where do you think we're going?
Now, we all know that what should happen, but I don't think at this rate, we can't even get our situation together with Corona. So I'm sure that they're not going to be considering giving out money to all of the country so that we can be on a little bit of a ballot. I think it's what should happen, obviously, but I don't think it's going to happen because, you know, when you think about the foundation of our country, I mean, it's pretty much showing its colors. It's showing its colors now. Yeah. And it's continuing to rise at that same pace, okay? But where the rich stay rich. That's what they want. And they're getting it.
Yeah, it's like the whole system is designed that way. And so it's working just the way they want it to, you know?
So they're not looking to change. They're like, oh no, this is exactly how we want it. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, when I saw the way the looting was occurring, you know, people robbing dollar stores and liquor stores.
That was ridiculous.
Just ridiculous the way they were doing it with no regard to law enforcement or right and wrong or any of that. It tells me the desperation of the people right now. You know, if you bold enough to take a cash station and put it in your trunk and drive down the street with a whole ATM. Yeah, if you can do that, then you don't care no more. You don't care if anybody see you.
Have lost it.
You know, we're seeing broad daylight carjackings and stuff like that now. You know, people are desperate and they need some sort of relief.
Yep. They're desperate, and that mental health is up for question right now.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think you're right about the mental health part because it's hard to balance all this where you got to constantly wash your hands, you got to constantly social distance, you got to constantly have a mask, and then you got to constantly be aware of your surroundings on a day-to-day basis. You know, some people, you know, they want to go party and kick it. We've seen examples of that. People going to different parties, and you know, some people trying to do it like they used to and becoming super spreaders.
You can't.
You know, they taking it to a party, and next thing you know, it's 60 people got it. You know, so the mental challenges of this is really starting to wear on people. You know, the stress.
It is.
You know, so we're going to stay encouraged in 2021. Hopefully, folks try to buckle down a little bit, and a vaccine will come out, and we'll get herd immunity and start opening up things slowly back to normal. So I want to thank you, Portia, for coming on the show. It's been a real blast having you. Thank you, all the viewers,
as always,
all the viewers out there that's fans of Porsche's, fans of mine. We appreciate you tuning into the McGraw Report. Hopefully, we'll be back in the studio in 2021 doing some things. But for now, if we got to do Zoom, we got to do Zoom.
Here we are.
Here we are. We still giving it to you. All right. This is Miss Portia. I'm Harry McGraw. Thanks so much for checking us out. And we see you guys next time. Thanks, Portia.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.